watching Bethel Kids Online. We're nearing the end of our series, God Wars. Today is episode 7, The Invisible Army. Throughout this series, we have been seeing epic battles from the Old Testament. These battles are where God showed his love for his people. Battles fought with iron and steel. But today's battle is one of the craziest battles we've talked about yet. In this battle, one army is going to be invisible and the other is going to be blind. Stay alert as together we learn this incredible true story from God's Word.
Hey guys, it's Miss Dion. I'm so excited to be doing the memory verse again with you guys this week. Today I have something different that we're going to practice. This is how it's going to go. The first time through, I'm going to say the verse the right way. The second time through, I'm going to change it just a little bit, and I want to see if you guys can guess at what I changed. The third time through, I'm going to say it again the right way, and you can check and see if you were correct. Okay, let's get this started. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Okay, this time I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I want to see if you can see where I messed up. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to fight too. Did you catch it? You're right. We don't need to fight. God tells us that we only have to be still, and he's going to take care of it. Okay, let's say it right. Say it with me if you can. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Okay, let's try that one more time. This time I'm going to mess it up again, and I want to see if you can catch it. Then we'll say it right again one last time. Are you ready? Okay. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will play for you. You need only to play too. Did you catch it? Yeah, you're right. It says in the Bible that God's our friend, but the verse isn't talking about God playing with us. The verse is talking about him fighting for us. So let's say it through one last time all together the right way. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Have a good week.
The king of Aram was at war with the people of Israel. Time after time, he would try to go and gather his troops, the Arameans, and defeat the Israelites. But each time, God would speak to his servant Elisha, and Elisha would go and warn the Israelite king. The king of Aram was furious that the Israelites kept finding out his plans. So he gathered some of his officers together and he asked them, "Which one of you is a traitor? Which one of you is telling the king of Israel my plans?" The officers told the king of Aram that it wasn't them, that it was the prophet Elijah. So the king of Aram told the officers to go out and find him so that he could send his troops to attack. As soon as the king of Aram found out where Elisha was, he sent a ton of troops with horses and chariots and weapons to surround the city that Elijah was in. Elijah's servant woke up early the next morning and he walked out to the horses and the chariots and the army. He knew they were surrounded. He came back to Elijah and said, "What are we going to do now?" But Elijah told his servant, "Don't be afraid. We have more fighting on our side." Elijah's servant was convinced that Elisha had gone crazy. He saw this massive army, and then he saw them, just two guys, facing an entire king's army. So Elisha prayed that God would open up the eyes of his servant, and that's exactly what God did. He opened the eyes of the servant, and when the servant looked out again, he still saw the Aramean army surrounding the city. But this time, he also saw the hillside covered with an army full of chariots of fire. But wait, the story gets better. So as the Aramean army advanced and got closer and closer to Israel, Elijah prayed that God would strike them with blindness so that they couldn't see. And God did. So Elijah went out and he greeted the soldiers who were blind, and he said, "This isn't the right city. Follow me and I'll take you to the man that you're looking for." So with the soldiers being blind, they trusted Elisha and they followed him. And Elisha led them straight into the city of Samaria, into the middle of Israel, where the Israelites could surround them. Elijah single-handedly delivered the Aramean army over to Israel. But the Israelites decided not to destroy the Arameans. They sent them on their way, and the Arameans decided they weren't going to attack Israel for a while. So they stayed away, and there was peace. Just like with Elisha and his servant, God is doing incredible things in our lives, even when we don't know it. Elisha's servant couldn't see that God had sent a great army to protect them. But God did protect Elisha and his servant because of his love for his people. And the same is true today. God is still with us. But how do we know God is with us when we can't see him, like the servant? Well, that's where faith comes in. Complete trust and confidence in someone equals faith. So let's continue talking about faith. I want you all to cup your hands in front of your face. Now, I want you to blow into your hands like this. Can you see the air coming out of your mouth? No. But can you feel the air in your hands? Yes, you can. Let's look at this balloon and let's blow it up. Do you see the air inside the balloon? We can see the effects of the air on the balloon, but what about when we let the air out? We don't see the air leaving. We can hear the air leaving because the balloon makes a funny sound, but we can see the effects of the air going in and out of the balloon, how the balloon gets bigger when the air goes in, and how it shrinks down to be small again when the air goes out. That's like faith in God. We can't always see God, but we see the effects of what he's doing. We see how he's provided for us. We see how he takes care of us. That's the evidence of faith. Even though we may not always be able to see God, he's still working in our lives. He's giving us peace and joy and security. He protects and he guides us. We just need to trust in him, and that trust is called faith. Our eyes can't see air, but God can. Faith is real and it moves the invisible world. And when we put our faith in God, he will never let us down. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 7 of God's Wars. Join us next week for not only our final episode of God Wars, but also our final Bethel Kids Online episode. As of June 21st, we are going back to Bethel Kids, so I hope to see you there.